Are you saying things to yourself like, what if I fail? I've been stuck for years. I'm just not ready to charge for my gifts and put myself out there. Do any of these excuses sound familiar to you? If so, that's what I'm going to talk about here today. If that's you, you're sitting on the proverbial cosmic toilet. So today I want to talk about how you can flush away all of those excuses so you can really do what your soul came onto this planet to do, to deeply heal yourself, to help other people heal, and then to share those gifts with the world through service or business. The major signs that you're stuck on this proverbial pot are you're overthinking, you are having a fear of success, maybe, and that one can be subtle. You might be waiting for the perfect timing, blaming others or circumstances outside of yourself. So, all of those are ways that you might be holding yourself back. And so, how do you get past those and get on with your business, get on with your path as a spiritual practitioner? So, I want to start with a story from my own life and doing the inner spiritual work that I needed to do within myself and on my own business journey hasn't been easy. It hasn't been a linear path. I went through a phase of not even feeling good enough or worthy enough to even be here at all helping others. Thinking, I'm so messed up. What could I possibly give to other people or help others with? Isn't everyone going to know that I'm a messed up person? Right. So then I would heal a layer of that gunk, start my business again in a half ass way, then tear everything down, quit again. And it became this cycle. And I told a student the other day, we were talking that I probably opened and closed my business a good 6 or 7 times before I was finally like, yes, I'm staying. This is what I'm doing. There was parts of myself that I wasn't ready to look at yet, especially in this type of spiritual business or development, transformational business. It is an inside job through and through. The turning point for me was really realizing that looking honestly within myself and the shadow and going really deep and getting really, really real. It was painful, yes, but I realized that it was far less painful than staying stuck, knowing that I'm not doing anything to move towards my dreams. So I adopted this mindset of, you know what? I am going to do this. Nothing's going to stop me. I am going to do this or I'm going to die trying. So that's what I did. And the biggest tragedy would have been for me to just give up and never know what I could be or what I could accomplish. But luckily, once I was able to make that commitment to myself first and foremost, but then also just to the world, that's when some amazing things really started happening. Amazing things and people started to orchestrate in my life because I made that firm decision and I told the universe, this is what I'm doing. As I responded differently to myself and started really taking ownership for myself, my own well being, my own path, then magically all of these other supports began showing up for me. People started coming out of the woodwork that were exactly what I needed for that point in my journey. So, all of that time that I spent being wishy washy, not knowing if I was really all in, holding on to excuses or things that limited me, blaming circumstances on other people or the world outside of myself. I was essentially sitting on this cosmic toilet and I was sitting there doing nothing. Nothing was moving. So I wonder if you could think right now of this proverbial toilet as not just a pot, but a portal, right? And every minute that you wait, you're blocking a huge flow of energy meant for your mission. Every time you choose to blame someone or something outside of yourself for the circumstances that you are in, you are blocking that quantum energy that is meant to help you with your growth and your mission. So now I'm going to tell you the four main reasons that I see healers getting stuck. And that is the first one is the fear of selling out. The fear of selling out. This was huge for me as well. And growing up, my parents always had a scarcity mindset. Everything was always too expensive, or we were too poor. We always had to find the cheapest of the cheap. And it was a big deal to spend money in my family growing up. And so that programming ran very, very deep within me. And I spent time working jobs and trading my time for money. So it was a really jarring concept for me to move into this world of trading and exchanging money for value and impact. I had so many excuses I told myself that simply were not true. No one will ever pay for my services. Why would they pay for something they can't see, smell, taste, or touch? I'm still so messed up myself. How could I possibly help someone else? Why would someone else pay me to help them? Those were all things going around in my brain. So I had completely lost sight of the outcome and the deep value of the work. I had fallen victim to old scarcity programming and let it stand in the way for so long. It took so much inner work to reframe all of those beliefs and get to a place where I knew deep within myself my own value, my own worth to every fiber of my being. I had to value and respect myself first and foremost. I had to respect my own time before I could show to others my worth and value. Does that make sense? One thing that can really help with this is to make a list of why are your services worth 20 times more than what you charge? Like, what if you could save someone from losing their job because their anxiety is getting in the way of their job? Or what if you could save someone from getting a divorce? That's very, very expensive. What if you could get someone out of an abusive relationship by teaching them the tools that you have, right? So, what is that worth? It's priceless. So, really take some time to reflect consciously on why what you do is worth 20 times more than what you're charging for it. The second thing is, I see people waiting for the perfect timing. This is a huge trap of lying to yourself that I see people fall into so very often. That was one that I myself had fallen into before I really and truly committed to this business and this path. It all comes down to fear, though. When I was stuck in that phase of, oh, I wonder if it's the right time. I wonder if maybe I should wait until I have this in savings, or maybe I should wait until this circumstance or that circumstance came to be. But here's the thing, when I was stuck in that mindset, there was never going to be a right time. There would always be excuses. There are always risks. We live in an environment of risk. It's called Earth. We live in an environment of risk. But if you're willing to go past that, and if you're willing to say the time is now because I'm choosing for it to be, you have a chance. But if you're waiting for the perfect time or the perfect sign, I'm here to tell you it's not going to come. Your life is happening now. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is the show. So I encourage you to really go inward and get really real with yourself. You don't have to be successful to start, but to be successful, you do have to start. Just start somewhere. Start from where you are right now. Just start focusing on tangibly moving forward in your work today. Now, what is one thing that you could do to just move yourself a little bit more forward? And then what's one thing you can do tomorrow to move yourself even further? Break it down, but start. The third thing is waiting for an external validation. Like an example of this would be, am I really a healer? I need to know for sure if I'm really a healer, if I'm really meant to do this. This one is huge. I have helped so many people work through the same internal dilemma. A particular client of mine that I have in mind for this, she went through so much and did so much deep work within herself. She started really improving in leaps and bounds. She felt inspired at that point to go into this work full time as a healer. So I taught her Reiki 1, Reiki 2. She wanted to enroll in the 6 month QSM training, but then she went radio silence and she seemingly fell off the face of the earth. I didn't hear from her. So I reached out and I said, hey, what's up? What's going on? She was in an internal battle with herself over whether or not she truly was a healer. Like somehow her experiences were not valid or as valid as everyone else's. And she was not good enough or worthy enough or whatever it is enough to help others. Let me tell you something. Being a healer is not about being perfect. You have trained so many lifetimes for this work. If you are even drawn to it at all, then I guarantee you have. Every last one of us could be a healer, is a healer, if we choose to connect with that aspect of ourselves. You want this because the divine presence is wanting it through you. There are literally souls out there waiting for you specifically to be their healer as your imperfect self to help them in a way that no one else can. Maybe it's time to do some soul searching and really figure out where is this coming from, and change that programming. This is so much bigger than you or I. And it's about the collective. It's about what you can do to pack into the vitality of life, right? So you never stop learning or growing, but think about this as you are helping the person that you used to be before your healing journey started. Think of how much you would have to share and offer a younger version of yourself, and how much you could make a huge difference for someone who's in that same spot right now. So that's how this works. You're always going to be able to be ahead of someone. And you're always going to be able to be ahead of where some people are at with a particular path. Not saying you're better than them or anything like that. It's just you've gone farther on this path than them. And you can help them get to where you are right now. You can do that right now. Inner work is the most important thing in all of this because you can only take your clients as far as you've gone yourself. So the fourth reason is blaming things outside of yourself or circumstances, people and circumstances outside of yourself. That's a big one. Last, but certainly not least. We all have circumstances and people in our lives that seem to introduce obstacles into the path, but you can't let that stop you from doing what you need to do. And if you do let that stop you, you're never going to get to where you want to be. The world is full of risk, the world is full of problems. It's not about what happens, but how you respond. The journey is not meant to be an easy one. It's not meant to be blissful all the time. Your soul chose to incarnate into this body, into this time space reality, and have experiences. But you have to take full responsibility for your own well being, and that has to come first and foremost. You have to do this work to do this work. Also, how disempowering is that to be at the mercy of life and circumstances? You are here on this planet. You created the situation you are in right now. And you can also create the solution and the way forward. You can't see the solution or the way forward, though, if you are focusing on circumstances and people outside of yourself and transferring power to that and not taking full responsibility within yourself. Why? Because when you blame other people or circumstances outside of yourself, you are disowning that responsibility for your own energy field. You are handing your power over to other people or other circumstances. And how are you going to live your purpose when you're giving all your power away? You need that power within you to make this happen. This is about taking full responsibility for your own physical, emotional, spiritual well being. It is uncomfortable, absolutely, but also it's so liberating. If you have a mental or physical health condition, you are given that challenge to learn soul lessons through it. And as a healer, especially, think of this as a challenge that you are learning how to heal this. You're learning how to mend this, that you can then use that experience to help others with down the line. It gives you more depth and more richness as a healer. The universe is not fair and it never claimed to be. The universe is a mirror. If you're waiting on an apology from life or someone else to change, you're going to be waiting until the day you die. It really is about making that decision within yourself that nothing is going to stop you, that this is what you are doing, knowing your power, knowing how amazing you are, knowing your divinity at a core level, and trusting that you have everything within you already to light your path. So, I'm going to give you some practical steps to actually make some progress and stop procrastinating. Step one, flush out the bullshit. Identify one excuse that's holding you back. So that could be, I need more training, or I need to wait till this or that happens, and release that. Step two, activate your frequency with what you do want. So for this, commit to a daily practice. And I don't care what it is, this is for you, that you can create for yourself to align with where you're heading every single day with decisiveness. Decisiveness. So, what can you give your subconscious every single day? Like maybe it's a mantra that really resonates with you. Maybe it's journaling about ways you can move forward, but commit that time every single day to showing up for yourself and having a sense of decisiveness that this is what you're doing, you're moving forward. That's not even up for debate. Step three is own your own magic. Do the inner work until there's no resistance around pricing your services without guilt, getting the training that you need to support you and actually following through with that training, showing up for it. Your work is to find resistance to that big dream as it comes up, and every single time, not running away from it, not pretending it doesn't exist, but rooting into it and figuring out what is this here to teach me so you can keep moving forward. So I wanted to read a testimonial of a healer in Australia who took the quantum shift training and the freedom marketing training with me. She is now fully in her power, fully booked, and doing her healing work full time. So she says working with Derek through the QSM program is an experience of the most beautiful and divinely guided expansion process. It is more than I ever expected and everything that I didn't realize I needed. I am so grateful I listened to my intuition and took the leap to sign up. Since beginning with Derek, my practice as an intuitive energy healer has blossomed as I'm learning new skills, but mostly learning to trust my own inner guidance. Derek offers teaching, guidance, and support tailored to the individual. So, what I love about that testimonial is my student who graduated back in April of 2023 from the QSM training, she trusted that inner knowing that she had before she knew how it was gonna manifest for her. When she first came to the program, she didn't know how it was going to happen, but she showed up, she did the work, she walked through her own fear, and she took responsibility for her own path. And now here she is in early 2025. She's doing what she loves in total alignment. But think about what would have happened if she would have stayed in those excuses and those mental traps that kept her in the cycle of not moving towards that. She would have, she would still be doing something she didn't like for work. She would, many people would not have received the help that they have from her. So beautiful things happen for not only you, but everyone around you, the entire universe, when you choose to step up to the plate. I have other students who have not chosen to heal the resistance coming up because I can give you all the tools, but I can't make you want this for yourself. And they have sadly given up. And that makes me really, really sad deep down because I can see the potential in them. I can see the excitement that they had, but they are the ones who don't believe in themselves. They are the ones that are not taking the action and they're hurting themselves. That's self sabotage at its finest. So they are the ones who are in the cage and they have to let themselves out. They're in a cage, but the door is open, but I can't make them get up and walk out of the cage. So I really hope this is all very helpful for you and helps you move forward, even just a little bit. And I hope you can love yourself enough to allow yourself to follow where you're being led because you have so much potential. And if you'd like a copy of my free downloadable guide, 5 quantum decisions that every healer must make in 2025, comment the word guide down in the comments and I will send that over this week. And I'll send it as soon as I can. And that's completely free. If you're in that place where you really are ready to certify as a quantum healer in the next 6 months, comment the word portal down below and we'll be in touch and talk. The toilet is flushing on 2025. Are you in or out? I hope you're in. So, like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like. It really helps support the channel, helps get this info out to more souls. Thanks so much for being here and lots of love to your journey. Talk soon.